Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to what promises to be an absolutely crazy race. It says Qatar Airways. I didn't know they were a sponsor, but it is in fact the Austrian Grand Prix. We are here at the Red Bull Ring, a famous track in the history of F1. An absolutely phenomenal race took place earlier today around the 2.6 mile circuit. 10 turns, 3 DRS zones, and a whole lot of overtaking can take place at any given point. It is the shortest track on the calendar with the exception of Monaco, but in terms of pure lap time, it is ridiculously fast, and it promises to be another fast race today. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dan, and welcome to round number 2 of the MRL Tier 5 Season 11 season. We have ourselves an incredibly competitive grid filled to the brink already today. Everyone is already in the lobby, already ready to go. It is a ridiculously good start to the day. My name, of course, is Big Mac Dan. Last weekend we had a tremendous first weekend around. I don't even remember where we were driving last weekend. It was that weird. But all we know is that Ferrari looked dominant. AngryShadow, the driver who many have critiqued should not have been in Tier 5 to begin with, got pole, fastest lap, and the win. A Grand Slam weekend for them to start their season right. Meanwhile, in P2, Villeneuve held on for Red Bull ahead of Monster Jammers in P3. Monster Jammers inherits P3 after the driver who did finish P3, Deathman, received 10 seconds worth of penalties. 3 penalty points were applied for 2 collisions. I believe one was with Tolby, one was with Mach-Mage, and it's put it down to P6 in the standings, which means the Jammers now brings Ferrari up to 41 points in their first weekend for Tier 5. Meanwhile, Welshie, Benzo, Deathman in P6, Mach-Mage in 7th, Shazam, a reserve in P8, Normbash for Red Bull in P9, and BMW Bum in the RB Honda will finish in the top 10. They are our point scorers for the first week of racing, but we don't really have time to get into that anymore because unfortunately we do have an entire race ongoing already. And by that I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we're already in qualifying. It is live for qualifying, and we have a bunch of drivers already out on track as I will try and get everything up for you. But yes, as you can see so far, a couple of drivers already out there on the medium tyre, and you may also notice that it is a little bit dark. That's right, it is Austria. That means there is a likelihood of rain. I don't know why, but it is, and it's very scary, as I have tabbed out of the game, and I still don't know how I do that. Every single time. Something is wrong with that it keeps doing that. But either way, we are underway with qualifying. Our first drivers are coming onto their laps now. I believe it will be Welshie who will lead us away. He is on the medium tyre. Once again, electing to get a banker lap in first. There's a couple of cars are coming out of the pit lane here. Have to be careful on exit. Will wobble his way around, but will take turn 1 clean. You will see in the minimap in the bottom right, when a driver has exceeded track limits, that minimap will turn red. That's how you know that lap will be invalidated. And that's how we'll be tracking it here today. If you have any questions in chat, do drop them now. Well, I'm doing my best to keep on track of it this weekend. Obviously, the chat is not here. It would be up there in the top left if it was. But for now, what we have is the screen to look at. And as you can see, updated icons as well for the drivers. The new RB2 and the white Hasses are now officially on the grid to help differentiate them from the other teams. But McLaren will be the first ones to get a lap in. We'll be on board with Welshie now as he comes around the final 2 corners. Bit of a lock up there on the front left, but we'll get the lap done and we'll put in a 1:05.1 to start us off. The next driver, I believe, across the line will be Terms to finish the lap. Sorry, no, it will be Bum who sets a 1:06.3. Meanwhile now, here comes Terms. 2 Terms has done a very good job of being consistent and has done a very good lap. 1:05.3 puts him P2. There is, of course, one driver we are waiting to see, and he is still in the pit lane. That is a Ferrari of AngryShadow. One driver who is not in the pit lane is Monster Jammers. P3 last weekend. After a pretty hectic weekend, Echo 1 Medic goes P2. Currently, Welshie is still on pole, but Jammers will displace him half a second quicker. It's a great lap, and it puts him comfortably on pole for the moment. As across the line there came Tai Suit, who sets a 1:06.0. We have a couple of other drivers on a lap. Here's Villeneuve. The Red Bull driver's done a great job in the opening weekend. As across the line there comes Cobb K. A slow lap from him, a 1:08.0. It'll be P5 only for Villeneuve on his first lap. And he's invalidated his second attempt, so that will not be continued. Meanwhile, just looking around to see who is on a lap currently. There is Midnight, but he does seem to be going slowly, so probably not. Mark Mage even slower. Snoop Francis on a lap though. The Aston Martin sends it round the fast rights. You can see that rear, kicks it out before the apex to try and get the best run to the line. It's only a 5.8 and that'll put him P6. Across the line now comes the Mercedes of Midnight. It's a slow lap from Midnight, but it's a representative one for now. Same for Mark Mage. As a lock up into turn 1. It's a bit shaky, but Midnight's still going. So we have a yellow flag temporarily. Sector 2 seems to be cleared now. Heading up the hill is Midnight. As there's a yellow flag for an Aston Martin. And I believe they've gone off at the exit of the corner. And what they've actually done is slowed down Mark Mage here. And I'm not sure what's happened. Can we get some visual on this? There is the Aston Martin, and I believe they may have spun it on the way up to the corner. Meanwhile, Welshie has improved to a 0.9. As across the line comes, I believe, Benzo to start his flying lap. But now we wait for Midnight, who has been on a good lap. Up to the final 2 corners. Bit of a lock up there. Just keeps it within track limits. All the way to the white line. It's a 1:06.1. It's an improvement, but it's not by much. Mark Mage, however, did not improve his lap and will be boxing. Here's Nornbash, who is on a flying lap. As everyone in front of him boxes, it's a 45-1 middle sector. We'll see how that compares to Jammers at the moment. 11 minutes to go in qualifying. So we still have another, I would say, 2, maybe 3 laps from every driver if they get in and out quick enough. Here comes Nornbash, and he will be on the front row for now. A very good final sector, puts him P2. That is a great lap from him. Benzo Slice has invalidated his lap. He did a 45.5 middle sector, but has lost it all in that final. It would have been a 5.8. Would have put him, I believe, P10. Just ahead of Taisuit. Meanwhile, here's Deathman. Of course, noted by the stewards this weekend. If he makes another causing a collision incident, he will be reprimanded more severely. That was the ruling from the stewards, as available in the stewards' decisions. You can see in the MRL server up under stewards' decisions. For every single tier now, there is a thread that will be updated every single week that will determine exactly what the punishment for each driver will be. I do want to apologise. It's the Red Bulls who are the darker colour now, and the racing bulls will have the brighter shade. Just to prove that, Bum now crosses the start-finish line to start their flying lap. Deathman is on a pretty decent lap, but he's unvalidated it in the end of the middle sector, and that will be his lap over. Amamo is not putting in a strong lap either. As it stands currently, Bum's up by 1.5 tenths. And if you are wondering, yes, we are kind of just sitting and waiting at the moment, because there is a Ferrari who is yet to step out of the garage. And we are all awaiting his arrival on track. It's like Thanos arriving in Infinity War. It's inevitable what's going to happen. But we will sit and we will wait and we will be patient. And we will enjoy this qualifying session for what it is. A game in patience, really. Right now, though, Bum is absolutely setting the timing screens alight. 7.5 tenths up, 3/4 of a second, would currently be enough to put him in that top 10. It's what he's looking for, but we know he's got time as well to gain in the final sector, and he's absolutely cooked it. A great final sector from Bum will put him P6 alongside Two Terms, who is also on a flying lap and has matched his personal best in the first sector. Across the line now comes Benzo Slice, does improve to P12. Good lap from him. Meanwhile, the Aston Martin behind them, I believe that's a Marmo, will finish a lap. It is an improvement, but only to P14. Now the McLaren of Mark Mage is definitely improving. He's up by 11 seconds already. Has time to find in the final sector as well. She has begun his his first flying lap on softs. Across the line now comes a Haas. Not sure which one it was, but it's not really mattered right now because Muckmage has put it P5. Believe it was Nathan to start a flying lap. Now across the line comes Snoop Francis to start his flying lap, and behind him we do have an RB on a lap. No, Bum has had to bail out of it. Same with Two Terms, as there's multiple yellow flags across the track currently. Meanwhile, the Alpine team, we haven't seen much of them so far. Quietly biding their time here in the qualifying session is Striker 95. We didn't get to see much of in the last weekend. We'll be looking for a better display of their abilities. They head up now towards the top of the hill. As Welshie, by the way, just put it in P2. Has just put himself on the front row temporarily. But ladies and gentlemen, it's happened. If ever a harbinger of the apocalypse I've seen, I think I may have found one. Nathan goes and puts himself P6. Great lap from him. Across the line comes, I believe, Normbash there. Sorry, no, Villeneuve goes 105.4. Now the Aston Martin crosses the line. That would be Snoop, not quick enough to advance, as apparently I can't click on Omamo, so I have to go all the way around for some reason. Okay, there we go. Now it works. Looks like Snoop Francis on a second lap. No, he's half a second down. Meanwhile, across the line now comes the Alpine. This will be Striker's one and only flying lap so far. It's a 109.1. It's not the greatest of laps. As now we're going to ride on board with the championship leader. Race winner in round number 1 is expected to get on pole. Normbach has set a target time. 104.4. What can AngryShadow do to beat it? Heading up the hill now. Heavy braking into turn 3. Gets a good acceleration on the exit as well. He does, I believe, currently have a Williams sat right behind him. That would be Cobb K on a flying lap. As there's a yellow in front, that would be for Ty Suit, potentially. The car off here. On the right. Doesn't seem to have affected AngryShadow too much. A 44.7 middle sector. Oh, boy. This has been a great lap. Now, uses the toe off the Alpine. All over the curb on the inside, clips the apex, runs it to the white line, all the way on the exit. Might be looked at for track limits. It's not pole position. Cobb K-Mind follows him through to P5, but Normbach has got pole currently. Chat? Someone want to explain that one to me? Because I don't understand it. What's chat saying? Chat? Help. He's not winning. I thought you guys said he was gonna win. Someone get Midnight back in here. It was apparently a scruffy lap. Meanwhile, speaking of scruffy, Echo 1 Medic, who invited me to the lobby, I want to point out. Someone in the pits, please invite Midnight. Normbach, I can see you're in the pits. Jammers, one of you two, please. Echo 1 is matching his own time here, by the way. He's actually on an improvement, but it's going to be such a minimal improvement. I don't know if it's going to get him higher than P8, unless he can absolutely nail this final sector. Meanwhile, the other Alpine of NATO G will cross the line in front of him. He's had a good lap as well. NATO G goes P18. Echo 1 goes P8 overall. No, you're Midnight. Sizzle. Okay. Mark Mage retires in the pit lane. He will be taking no further part in the session. Confusion in chat on who's Midnight. Who is Midnight? Who even is Midnight, actually? Now that we think about it, who is Midnight? Meanwhile, around the track, I'm just looking to see if anyone's on a lap. Currently, Bum would be on a lap. I'm not sure how quick it's been, though, for the RB2 driver. Yeah, no, we've clarified it, but who is Midnight now? Either way. Bum on a lap, about 2.5 seconds slower, so might have had a mistake in turn 1. Midnight Killer, oh no. Meanwhile, across the line comes the Alpine. It's an improvement potentially for NATO G. It is an improvement. It's a 105.6, only 2 minutes 45 to go. And we are starting to look at the final laps. Currently, P4 is on a lap. That is NSG Welshie. NRG Welshie, oh no. Esports player NRG Welshie comes around the final few corners now in the middle sector. Across the line comes the kick Sauber of Benzo. He's looking to start his final flying lap. This is a big improvement from Welshie. Currently has him set for P2. Can he lock it up though? There is a slow Williams on the inside. Will that distract him? He doesn't get the curb on the inside at all of the first, but will catch all of it on the second. A great exit, gets the toe to the line, and Welshie has put it on pole. Great lap for the McLaren. Meanwhile, behind them now, Jammers. There is a traffic jam at turn 1. There are 4 cars. 5 cars even. 2 stationary, as AngryShadow gets a 5-place grid penalty because he sat the pit exit. And Cobb K sat behind him, and that's given him a 5-place grid penalty. Meanwhile, now we're looking around the track to see who is going to be improving. Taisut was improving, but I think he's just let someone through. Cars all over the road. We'll try and keep track of them all. Villeneuve did improve on that lap. 2 Terms does improve as well. 1:04.8. Across the line now comes the kick. That would be Benzo. No improvement from him. It was a 1:05.7, but it was invalidated. Now, we've got a Haas coming around the final corner. Oh, Cypher's gone completely off. There are 5 cars there at the end of the final sector. Across the line comes Nathan, 1:05.1. Now the other Aston Martin, not Amamo, the other one. It would be Snoop Francis up into 1:05.5 territory. Across the line comes a Mercedes of Deathman. No improvement. Well, she's retired in the box. AngryShadow was retired as well. And there will not be a pole for AngryShadow now. Across the line comes the kick. Echo 1, will he get a lap in? Yes, he will. 30 seconds left on the clock. Shadow's got a problem. Potential engine issues for Shadow. Jammers has backed out of his lap. He will not be improving. He is done for qualifying. Yellow flags all across. Benzo retires as well. Cobb K goes quick in the middle, but it's not an improvement. Nornbash across the line. No improvement either. Now the Aston. Snoop Francis goes P11. Now the Williams of Taisut. Can he improve? No. P15. The Mercedes of Midnight. No improvement. Now here comes Cobb K. No improvement. Nothing from Deathman. An improvement slightly from Amamo, but nothing major. It's the other kick now across the line. Echo 1. Where can he put his car? He can move to P6. Great lap from him. Naochi, the last car going, will box into the pits. And that will be qualifying over. It will be no Ferraris on the front row, but a Ferrari 3-4. Welshie will take pole from Nornbash in the RB. AngryShadow third, but with a 5-place grid drop will start P8 on the grid. Jammers will go to P3 alongside Cobb K on the second row of the grid. Echo 1, then 2 Terms, Mark Mage, then it will be AngryShadow, Nathan and Villeneuve rounds out your top 10. Striker, the unfortunate person to have drawn the wooden spoon in terms of finishing positions. Alpine will have one at the very back. Well, what an amazing qualifying session that was. Everyone on a lap, everyone capable. Half a second between P1 and P8 for pole there. A ridiculously close feat from the drivers. An incredibly close session all around. AngryShadow had a problem, reportedly. That problem is he starts P8. The driver who everyone expected to be comfortably on pole has not found the pace here. Just so you can see the proof of the grid penalty and illegal blocking. We saw them parked up at the exit of the pit lane. Cobb K was sat behind him, waiting for him to move. And because of that, AngryShadow will start P8. The controller is apparently not working. Unplug, replug. Genuinely, unplug, replug. Works every time. Speaking as a former controller player. Oh, brother. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are not having a regular race today. Just like Tier 6, it is chucking it down currently. Oh, boy. Oh, Jesus. This is going to be... it's going to be something. Right. Everyone, I would recommend... everyone get a drink, bite to eat. Get ready for safety cars. Get ready for death. It is a wet start to what could be an entirely wet race here at Austria. well, we say the rain is a great equalizer. Normally in real life F1, what it does is it limits the ability of a driver, or it focuses it purely on ability, not car performance. When there's no car performance and everything is already ability, it makes the best shine brighter. 5 red lights. Here at the Austrian Grand Prix, we are underway, and it is a great start for Welshie, who maintains P1 by a comfortable margin. Meanwhile, Monster Jammers looks to try and get up to P2. Oh, there's contact. Echo 1's round. No, he's just kept it straight. But a couple of cars all over the road. There are cars bouncing off each other on the straight here. All the way up to turn 3. Front wing goes flying all the way across the track. I don't know who that belonged to. But into turn number 3, Welshie leads by about 1.5 seconds over Normbach. Mark Mage has made an amazing jump up to P3 ahead of Monster Jammers. Now his teammate AngryShadow has also started well. He's up to P5. Copk down to P6 as there's a yellow flag behind, and it's for a spinner. And there are 2 cars off. And it's Ty Suit and 2 terms, who've gone off at turn 4. But look at the gap opening. Well, she has timed this perfectly. The gap is already over 2 seconds, and Normbach is currently holding up everyone in that front back as everyone goes sliding through the second to last corner. It is treacherous conditions. There's a yellow flag for Cypher, who's gone off into the gravel. Right, we're not going to have any shortage of action today. Normbach now has to defend from everybody. Here comes Mark Mage. Pulls alongside. Can he get the job done? Heading up to turn 3. His teammate is in front of him, and will now be the next car on track. Up the inside. Clean as you like from those 2 drivers. Great racing, but it will be Welshie who takes P2. Normbach, though, is not happy with that. Looks to the inside. Will he go late on the brakes? Almost makes contact, but no. And now is under pressure from AngryShadow, who's got past Jammers already. Another 2 Ferrari teammates, wheel to wheel. Jammers will stay ahead of his teammate, as AngryShadow falls back down to P5. Now Cobb K's all over his rear end. Crazy start to the race. Yellow flags in Sector 2. It's for Aston Martin. And it's none other than Amamo, who's gone off into the gravel. We're trying to see where. That's turn 6. But across the line now comes Welshie. Leads by 2.3 to his teammate. It is a McLaren 1-2 in the wet here. There's meanwhile Jammers now almost up the inside into turn number 1. Needs to be careful not to make contact. Hasn't. Has got the run. And Normbach is now under massive pressure. Through goes Jammers. Through goes Shadow. Ferrari 3-4. Shadow up the inside of his teammate. Jammers gives him the wide berth, the non-Alpine approach of not fighting your teammate. But they're still wheel to wheel here. Jammers will cede the position eventually, and it will be AngryShadow up to P3. Normbach started P2 and has fell down to P5 now, under pressure from another quick riser in Nathan, who is up to P6. Deathman, after a poor qualifying from him, is up to P7 now as he gets past Gob K. He's up 5 from the start. The other big riser, Benzo Slice, who's up to P10 after starting 17. Striker's up to P13. There are big moves all over the track, but the biggest mover down is unfortunately 2 terms. Started P6, down to P15, got caught up in that first lap incident with Ty Suit, and it's not done him any favours, as meanwhile now it looks like Striker's made a mistake, and through comes 2 terms, double move, up to P13. As there's a yellow flag behind, that's Snoop Francis, and Aston Martin's bad luck turns to worse. You know, I just realised there aren't any particles on, and I do apologise for that. I'm going to get that fixed. You know what? I'll wait until after this battle, because right now AngryShadow is all over the back of Mock Mage. And this could be crucial. How much defense can Mock Mage give? As Bum says the fastest out of the race, a 13-1 on a set of intermediates. I believe they may have boxed for after damage on lap 1. But right now, the drivers who started 7th and 8th on the 4th row of the grid are currently 2nd and 3rd, and they have displaced both of the top 3. But can they make any inroads on Welshie? AngryShadow is all over the back of Mockmage. Less than 2 tenths between them as they come down now towards 9 and 10. AngryShadow will go on board with the Ferrari. Looking to maintain a perfect streak here this season in MRL. But is having trouble working his way past drivers. He's great at leading the race, like Sebastian Vettel in a Red Bull, but has yet to find the moves he needs to get the job done. This will be his chance. Burns the ERS, goes to the inside, brakes later, but Mockmage just doesn't treat him like he's not there, gives him all of the room, and he doesn't commit at all. Now Nathan, by the way, up to P5, has now got past Normbash, who is struggling more and more every single lap. Not suited for the wet conditions. Potentially, the setup is just not working for him right now. Deathman is flying up through the field, though. And you have to think sooner rather than later we'll be looking for the move on the Red Bull. Meanwhile, back at the front, the gap is just under 0.3 tenths of a second once again. AngryShadow has such a good run in this final sector, but is just not able to put it to use because, because Mockmage is defending like a lion. Round the final corner. And it's a shaky exit from Mockmage, it's a shaky exit from Shadow, but this time, Shadow will look for the move, up to the inside, into turn number 1. He's ahead of the braking point. Mockmage goes late, but can't get late enough. And through goes the Ferrari into P2. Now the run up to 3. Will there be an attempt? Late on the brakes from Mockmage? No, he plays it safe. Shadow was starting P8, Bouncy. You missed nothing special, I guarantee it. Go back and rewatch quali. It was absolutely insane. Meanwhile, battles happening all over the track right now, but the big one is this battle for P2. Qualified P3 did AngryShadow, started P8 due to a 5-second time penalty for illegal blocking. A 5-place grid penalty, sorry, for illegal blocking. As meanwhile, Deathman has made the move. Wait. Did I miss something? Nathan's had a moment. Nathan's gone down to P7. I was like, oh, I don't remember him being P7. But the Hasses, who have yet to score a point in any of the races this season, I want to point out, it's a miraculous stat. Congratulations, Nathan, for what you've cooked up. Right now, is Nathan leading the way for the Hasses. He's in P7. He needs to drive safely. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2, and there's a massive lag spike, and it is several cars off, and it's midnight. Facing the wall on the inside of, I think that's 7 or 8. And there is an RB2 as well that's gone round. That would be Bum, who was at one point, and was for most of this race actually, the fastest car on track, but it's not done him any favours right now. Meanwhile, AngryShadow has started to eke away at the gap between him and Welshie. The gap is still 3.3. It was 3.6 last lap, but a 3 tenths a gain every single lap is too much to overcome if you are Welshie. He will need to defend at some point. Meanwhile, the RB of Normbash seems to have settled into a rhythm and is not losing time anymore, as now Cobb K has got past, as has Villeneuve. Up both of them past Nathan as there's another yellow flag. This time it's for Benzo. Benzo's gone round, and the big gainer at the start has found all of his hard work undone with a single mistake. Out of the points. And now comfortably struggling. Behind them, another yellow flag. This one, I think, for Striker, who's gone off. I believe that was there at turn 7 again. Turn 7 seems to be a hotbed for struggling cars right now. As the gap... Oh, I made a comment, and now he's gained a second. Villeneuve, meanwhile, up the inside of Deathman, gets the job done. He's up to P6, but now Deathman under pressure from Cobb K. Run down now towards turn number 4. Can't get the job done this time around. It looks like a front left end plate missing from Deathman's car. We'll have to have a look at how he's got that at a later date. Potentially the stewards may have to look if there was contact. But now both Red Bulls up into 5th and 6th. Nornbash is not too far back from Monster Jammers now, who is seemingly struggling on those intermediate tyres. Tyre temps are huge around here, as Echo 1 will receive his first penalty. There's been a crash, potentially up ahead. Incident involving Thai Suit and Omamo. Doesn't look like either driver has really lost anything. But that would be the second incident Tyre has been involved in this race. Meanwhile, at the front, the gap is now 7 tenths. The expectation is the inevitable. It's the Ferrari. But the Ferrari is throwing the car into the corners, and that can't be helping the rear grip levels right now, as he has now fallen about a tenth and a half back to Welshie. Meanwhile, Mark Mage still sat P3, still comfortable for McLaren, trying to drive safely. Monster Jammers now under pressure though. Nornbash has caught him and is putting the pressure on, as is Villeneuve. And this is huge because Red Bull are second in the Constructors currently, 20 points to Ferrari's 41. Ferrari expected to be dominant in the championship, but that does require Monster Jammers to stay ahead of the Red Bulls. As there's a yellow flag, that one's for Echo 1, who's gone off now. But it doesn't appear to be anything dangerous as it's DRS enabled. And we are officially in dry weather, according to the stewards. As meanwhile, the lead has been taken. Welshie with the DRS undone, but we'll get it back this lap. Down the back straight, is he close enough to Shadow? Not burning the DRS, not burning the ERS, apologies, will not get the move done. And AngryShadow has retaken what was apparently rightfully his. As through goes Nornbash up to P4 now, ahead of Jammers. Jammers under pressure now from the other Red Bull. Looking for the move back is Jammers though. Trying to recover that P5, but the track is drying. We're expecting cars in any lap now. As there's a yellow flag, and that is for the Mercedes. Oh, it's for Echo 1. Never mind, Echo 1's gone off. Again. And a bad weekend turns to worse for the Kick Saubers. As in come the first few cars. Jammers, Villeneuve, Cop K follow suit. And it does like Two Terms is coming in as well. Meanwhile at the front, there is a battle starting to enrage, but the leaders have just caught traffic. It's like they're almost lapping Snoop Francis on the pace of Verstappen here. How quick this has been. Tyres, good shout. Let's have a look. It's hards. Jammers at Villeneuve, Cobb K hards. Two Terms, mediums. Ty and Midnight have already gone hards. And I wonder what the pace is like. They are gaining rapidly. Cars are entering the pit lane now. Everyone from Jammers down has boxed. So I would expect the leaders will be in this lap. No. Stays out as AngryShadow. Welshie will box. And I wonder if Shadow's trying to go to the mediums here rather than the hards. That was close there from Mark Mage. Looked like he just clipped the line. But he'll be fine, I think. In comes Nathan as well. Out stays Deathman, who follows the leader. As... No, NATO G, that's across the line. But staying out are some of the leaders. Here's the real test, though. Monster Jammers was comfortably behind at the point where he boxed. How quick have those hard tyres been? Have they turned on quick enough? He's gone purple final sector, and that is Mark Mage on the inside here. They are racing, but Mark Mage is behind. And the question is now, can Welshie get enough time here to close the gap to AngryShadow? He needs to be pushing on this outlap. In comes AngryShadow now from the lead of the race. Struggling for pace. Deathman also struggling for pace. Midnight goes fastest. 12-1 that time around. For, I believe it's the Mercedes driver who is involved in a huge battle right now. 3 cars going wheel to wheel to wheel. 3-way up the straight. I've always wanted to say that. That was great. Either way, side by side now, Midnight and Bum going wheel to wheel. Bit of a contact there from the Williams, but nothing major. Meanwhile, at the front, Welshie has retaken the lead of the Grand Prix. Over a second. And that's on tyre strategy. That's on timing of pit stop. Now he needs to defend like a lion once again. Cobb K goes fastest. I assume everyone's going to go faster for a while. Meanwhile, Bum has got the job done on Midnight. He's defended well. On those medium tyres, he should be faster, and is doing a great job so far. Deathman now, though, under pressure, as is NATO G. NATO G goes defensive. Great move! What a move from 2 terms. Up the inside ball, but he's got deep. He's gone deep into the corner. He's lost a position back to NATO G. Snoop Francis receives a 3-second. Now Villeneuve is involved. Villeneuve went in a lap maybe too late. Or too early, sorry. And has ended up back behind. Has lost a bunch of time. I think he went in with the same time as his teammate, but lost a bunch of times. No Max Lando recreations, but we've had 3 wide on the way up there, so a fair few incidents have almost happened. Deathman now under pressure from Villeneuve. Villeneuve, of course, P2 last time out on pure pace, as Jammers has got the move done on Mark Mage into turn 1. But Mark Mage will have the DRS now all the way up to turn 3, will to look to regain P3. McLaren v Ferrari. Oh, Jammers is all over the rear on the way through 3. Now the run down a 4. Jammers will have DRS. Will he look for the move? To the inside. Goes deep on the brakes. Can he get the car stopped? He can, but it's not enough. Great defensive drive from Muckmage to hang on a P3. Normbash, though, is starting to close. Meanwhile, the 4-car battle for P8 continues. Somehow now, 2 terms is at the back of it, despite making a double overtake the lap before. Oh, and there's a battle now. Almost 3 wide. Oh, there's contact between the Red Bull and the RB. As AngryShadow now is right on the back of Welshie. Has him done before we even open DRS. That is a ridiculous exit from turn 1. It is already back in the favourites. There's a yellow flag and there is a safety car. And it's for Bum and for Cypher. And Haas's bad luck continues here in Tier 5. But a safety car as Welshie was looking to re-overtake AngryShadow. And Cypher has been DSQ'd for his slow rejoin. And you can see Stu Francis doing everything he can to avoid him there. But it is a DSQ for Haas. I believe that is the first DSQ of the season for Haas, but Nathan should be able to correct me on that at some point. But AngryShadow will lead on the restart here. And the question is, does anyone box? Midnight and Bum have boxed already. About expected, they may have front wing damage. Midnight's back out. Bum now comes in. Does he have front wing damage? Yes, he does. New front wing for Bum, but a new set of mediums as well, which will go to the end. Same for Midnight. 20 laps here on mediums is not a hard job. Nathan receives a 3-second under safety car. Nathan, why have you done that? The final corner, he's received it. But what this will do now is it will bunch the pack together and allow me to take a bloody breather. Holy Jesus. Right. Let's go over what we've had so far, right? We've had 4-way battles. Tie. Come on, stop it. It's safety car. Stop going off the track under safety car. It's not that hard. Really, it's not. I don't even know how you've done that. Into the pits, by the way, comes Benzo and Two Terms. Two Terms on his way out now. Will rejoin P12. Just have a look at the penalties so you can see how they are looking currently. We've got 4 people with 3 seconds. AngryShadow's drive to the front is nothing short of expected. Not phenomenal, not grandiose, not amazing. Expected. If you thought anything different was going to happen, you'd be a fool to guess that. However, the way he's done so has been very clinical, very composed, very of the expected standard. As there is a massive car park at the second to last corner there. I have no idea why. As it appears now, I think a couple of cars are trying to let the lapped cars through. Yeah, well, it's going to be like 22 from Miami onwards to 23. So you have to remember, he wasn't in the fastest car at the end of the 23 season. He was still the fastest driver, but McLaren had made the gap up. Meanwhile now, we're just waiting for AngryShadow to let the 2 lapped cars in P2 and 3 in the chain through. I'm not sure if he will, though. The rules stipulate that he will. It does look like he hasn't reacted to the fact that they are behind him currently. Oh, there's almost been a collision there. Because of the train. And I'm very confused as to what is happening right now. AngryShadow off the track now. No, he was told to carry on. And I thought he was letting them through there, but he decided not to. Now he runs off the track. Now they go through. And those lapped cars will be allowed to unlap themselves as they drive through the safety car. I believe there is still one more lapped car in there, and that would be Bum in the RB. I believe they are currently sat in the middle of that pack. Yes, they are. They're behind the Ferrari and the McLaren pairings. So they will also need to move. But either way, if you're just joining us now, welcome. It is lap 18 of 36 here in the Tier 5 MRL Season 11 GP around Austria. We've had the first safety car after an intermediate start. Every driver managed to make it safely round for the most part. Our first DSQ brought out the safety car. Cypher collected by, I believe, it was an Alpine of Striker, I believe, potentially, or even potentially Bomb, collected them, and what that has led to is unfortunately a situation where Cypher was stuck here on the exit of turn 5 facing the wall, and to avoid hitting the wall tried to reverse onto the track but didn't reverse far enough and got himself stuck in an Austin Powers situation, and because of that they ended up DSQ'd. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask them. We will do our best to get to them. I think I've got a 5-second delay today, which is ridiculous. I don't know how I've only got 5. So if everyone wants to put their messages in chat as we are ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. And it will be AngryShadow from Welshie from Markmage. It is McLaren 2-3. Can Lando or Oscar find their way through? Can Welshie or Markmage hold off jammers? It has been a great performance so far from the Ferrari team to be maintaining P1 and 4, but now they need to go for more. AngryShadow has gone early, and Welshie's not been able to go with him. AngryShadow has got those tyres warmed up impeccably off the restart and has already put 7/10 into the gap. Markmage falls further behind as now Jammers chases him down. P5 is still Normbash, and Bum has not been able to unlap himself. He will need to move out of the way. Now Nathan, though, looking for Hassan's first points of the season, will go to the inside, which will turn to the outside on the run up to 3. Will he be able to get the move done? He goes late on the brakes. No. And now he's under pressure from Cobb K as Bum goes off the track to try and get out of the way. I'm out of the way of most. Villeneuve, by the way, now battling Echo 1 is going to be up into P9 as Nate also goes off. That's a great double move for the Red Bull driver, getting himself back in the points. Second in the standings, needs to find some momentum and form here. As meanwhile in the background, Nate OG overtaken now by 2 terms. Goes round the outside, a great move, and the Alpine continues to fall further down. Meanwhile at the front, the gap is just under a second. Our race leader, AngryShadow, has not broken DRS on the opening lap, and that may have just invited some chaos. As a safety car? No? No, the graphic is glitched. Tyres, sorry, good shout. We've got hards on everyone. Bomb receives a 10-second for not moving out of the way of everyone. As expected. As there's a 4-way battle, oh my lord! Battle across the field. Normbach overtaken by Nathan, now Cobb K as well. Cobb K now chasing down Nathan. Can he get the job done here? Doesn't go for the move. Villeneuve now goes past Normbach. Normbach goes down a P9 as Deathman will follow suit. Villeneuve is up to P7 off the restart. He was P11. Great restart from him. Meanwhile, Jammers receives a 3-second. That will ruin his chances of getting on the podium today because right now, neither McLaren has a 3-second. DRS for Welshie. No DRS for Machmage, and it's a fastest lap for Welshie, using the DRS to his advantage here. And you know what? He's not out of this race yet. Please ignore the safety car in the top right. There is no the top left. There's no safety car on track. Meanwhile, here comes Cobb K up the inside through 3, or through 2, up to 3. Is now up to P5 as Villeneuve all over the road. As Bum receives another 10-second time penalty for not getting out of the way of cars in the time required. As Machmage, wheel-to-wheel racing with Jammers. And this is a battle for on-track P3, but not actual P3, due to Jammers' penalty. Machmage defends like a lion there, squeezing Jammers, who gets all out of shape on the curb, but will keep the car straight. Right at the end of Pride Month. Can't afford to get it twisted now. I don't know why I said that. I do apologise. Either way, battle now continuing down the order. Villeneuve all over the back of Nathan, who is in turn all over the back of Cobb K. But Nathan has that 3-second time penalty to his name as well. Villeneuve on the older hard tyres, arguably faster to warm up tyres. As now the battles continue to rage. It's McLaren v Ferrari, Ferrari v McLaren, all the way through for the top 4. Nathan has the move done on Cobb K, but will he remain in P5? Here comes Villeneuve up the inside. Can he get the job done? Yes, he can. Now follows through goes Deathman. He'll try and fight it. Will Cobb. But Villeneuve and Deathman have done a number on him. And Cobb K now. Oh, his contact with the back of Deathman. Lost his braking point there momentarily. Normbach gone off. Oh, Normbach in the wall. Trying to get on the throttle, on the grass, and has lost all of those positions. The man who restarted in P5 is down at P15. And what that has done is it's got rid of the safety car. So thank you very much, Nathan. Meanwhile, at the front, well, she is pushing on those hard tyres as Monster Jammers into the final corner has got the move done on Machmage. Ty receives a 3-second. He's in P12, not on the points currently, not battling for them either. Benzo gets the fastest lap. Huh? What? Benzo's actually just got the move done on Ty, by the way. Now it's up to P12 for him. Great job. Meanwhile, back to the barrels at the front. Machmage all over the rear of Jammers. Well, she's all over the rear of AngryShadow, but seems content to sit in P2 right now. As there's a yellow flag behind, and that's for a Williams. And it's for Ty, who's just backed it into a wall. And I wonder if there was contact there, because he was round on the inside of the corner. Meanwhile, back to the front, the gaps have opened. Well, she's almost lost a second. I think he has lost a second. But we know he's got a great final corner, as meanwhile Ty's gone off again. And Ty may now, unfortunately, receive a DSQ unless he gets this car going. We saw this happen already. But he does get the car going in the end. Good for him. He will not be DSQ'd from this race. Meanwhile, Welshie has got back into DRS of the race leader. Jammers is under pressure again from Muckmage. We're looking at the rear wing now of the Ferrari. Echo 1 receives a 3-second time penalty and is overtaken at the same corner. Here comes Muckmage up the inside. Can he get the job done? Jammers just tries to squeeze him, but can't do so well enough. Muckmage back into P3. Great job from him to get that move done as quickly as he did. Meanwhile, behind them, an oncoming warrior. Villeneuve's up to P5 as Ty gets a 10 second for speeding into the pits. Villeneuve has almost caught P3 here. Now, he himself does have, if I remember correctly, 3 seconds of time penalties, and he's brought Nathan with him. But Nathan, has pushed too hard in the final corner. That's going to bring Deathman back into this. But look at these gaps now. Barely anything between them. This battle for P3 I don't think is anywhere near over. If Mark gets a 3 second, it's going to be chaos. As there's a yellow flag on the straight, and I'm trying to figure out for who. It looks like a Williams. Is that Cobb K? No, it's the other Williams. It would be Ty, fresh out of the pits. Trying to get out of everyone's way. I was wondering if that was an actual incident. It turns out no. Muckmage hanging on to P3 right now on track. Snoop Francis receives another 3 second time penalty. And look at the trains. This is Austria. You can see penalties. Good shout. It's only 3 seconds. Echo 1 has 6. So as it stands right now, by my math, Jammers falls to, I believe, P9. Or P7, sorry. As it stands. Just due to penalties and how close everyone is together. Ridiculous. Keeping it clean around Austria is key here. Deathman looking to gain the most so far. He's on the back of that train with Nathan. Meanwhile, our lead 2 clear of everyone. But the battles are still raging behind. Villeneuve battling with Nathan. Nathan's got the job done this time. Into turn 3, comfortably ahead. Meanwhile, behind, Deathman. Not the greatest of exits. Has lost a bit of time there. 2 turns also involved. NATO G closing up now. After what was a horrific restart from him, he's closed the gap back up. As meanwhile, Nathan is now on the back of Monster Jammers, who is in turn on the back of Muckmage. I think there was a battle there that we've just missed. But these two still battling for what is on track P3. But right now, McLaren are looking dead set for it, as long as there isn't an incident. Speaking of, there is an incident. That's Ty Suit, who's gone off. But no issues, no safety car. Jammers has absolutely cooked that final corner. May go for the move into turn 1 here. You can see him there on the inside. The Ferrari and the McLaren go wheel to wheel. And I don't know who's going to get DRS there. It's neither. So now here comes Nathan to the inside. Has to be given room. But is not able to find his way through. There's turning, there's a bit of contact there potentially. But no one is round. And that is a sign of good safety driving. There is a virtual safety car, however. And I'm trying to figure out for what. And I'm thinking it may have something to do with terms in Cobb K. Deathman also receives a 10-second time penalty. So 2 10-second time penalties there for dangerous contact. I think Bum got one as well. And I'm not sure what's happened. But what that has allowed is the leading pair are both boxing. They want fresh softs. Neither will speed in. Jammers will push. Nathan will push. Mark is being held up slightly by Nathan here. Out come Welshie and Shadow. Has anyone chosen to stay out? One driver has. And it's a driver with 10 seconds worth of time penalties. That is just a virtue. Oh, it's a full safety. That is a great shout, Eruption. And I still don't know what for. What could have caused this tremendous safety car? We'll never find out. We will never know. I legit didn't see anything. As meanwhile, Echo receives a 10-second, and the man who already had 6 seconds of penalties, there he goes from bad to worse. Meanwhile, Nathan, who is currently sat P3, Mugmage has been slightly screwed, by the way. He's down to P6 now. Still on for net P3, just due to penalties, but has gone from P3 on track, or P4 on track, down to P6. Fine, you can have your tyres. Oh boy, that's a mixture. Well, she's gone softs. Well, she's risked it. Shadow's played it safe. Nathan's played it safe. Villeneuve's played it safe. Muckmage, Welshie, Jammers, all risked it on the softs. Then it's Cobb K. I'll say Nato G, who's also gotten a massive jump off that, is up to P7 now in the Alpine. He's on softs. Cobb K's on mediums. Amama's on mediums. Benzo is on softs. Chaos. It always seems to rain. That makes sense, Bouncy. I was just reading Bouncy's comment in chat. If you haven't already, toast to, I'll just read it out. I think the battle caused a safety car because it was thought to be a pileup from the game. That's why 2 cars got 10 seconds. Doesn't explain why Bum got 10 seconds. But to be fair, I think he already had 20 from not letting cars past. So that might have been that. Speaking of, Normbash has boxed and he has had to get a new front wing. That might have been the cause for it. As I pause and unpause, that hasn't fixed this virtual safety car being broken. As meanwhile, they are letting this time around, I believe that is Bum, goes through. Bum just needs to overtake the safety car now. And he does so. And Bum will be back on the lead lap. Now, Ty Suit is the only one left that has not unlapped himself. He is about 5 cars, between him and unlapping himself. He does need to find a way through. We are just waiting for the safety car restart at this point. I think we're going to have another lap, it appears, of the full safety car before we get going again. And what this is doing, every lap longer we sit under safety car, it's benefiting the soft runners. It's giving them more time to keep the energy in their tyres and fully push them for this last stint. Obviously, there was a small chance, a very small chance, that their tyres may have gone off by the end of that 8-lap stint. Now, it's going to be a 6-lap stint. With 2 of those laps prior being on safety car. So 0 actual wear on those tyres, as long as they have looked after them. Meanwhile, we are still waiting to see if Bum will be let through. Ty Suit will be let through. It appears Ty Suit simply has elected not to be let through. And we're not sure why. We're just waiting on, I think it's Nathan who needs to let him go first. And then I think the rest of the field will follow suit. Get it? Follow suit? It doesn't matter. That's a stupid joke. That's popped me, but it's a stupid joke. What this has actually unintentionally not helped is Villeneuve, who will now be sat behind Taisu off the restart. And what that will do is that may cause an issue with him trying to remain with the front 4. Obviously, Villeneuve also has a 3-second time penalty. So you know the tyres now, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go back to the penalties for the rest of this one because it will be important to keep track of. Because we are safety car in this lap. The graphic updated. The drivers vibing. Ty trying to get out of the way. But we have one final restart. Technically, we can have another one. If there's another safety car immediately, that's the only chance we get. But this could be the final restart of the race. Okay, yeah, I can't say that. You know I can't say that. Either way, we are ready and going again. AngryShadow's gone a bit earlier this time, as same as he did before, but it's not worked as well, because this time, well, she's got the tyre advantage, and he is pushing early. As now, you can see Ty getting out of the way of everyone, but the gap has opened. In fact, Nathan's been dropped slightly as well by Monster Jammers, as here comes NSG Welshie to the inside, into turn 3. Can he get the job done? There's a yellow flag behind. There is a huge pile-up behind. What is going on back there? And Marmo is only at turn 3 now. Into the lead goes Welshie. Shadow now defending. Tries to go to the outside, can't do so. Welshie has the move done. He takes the lead of the race with 5 to go. Big yellow flags. It's for Taisu and I think Norton Bash, potentially, who've collided. Meanwhile, Villeneuve up to P12. He's down in P12. What has happened? We need to know off the restart. Oh, contact there. Oh, it was a Benzo. I cut away at the right time. There are drivers everywhere on track right now, but in the front pack, it is 3 cars who have broken away. They all killed each other. That makes sense. Right, DRS enabled, and now how the tables have turned, where it was once the McLarens who were teaming to work against AngryShadow. It is now the Ferraris teaming to work with AngryShadow. Echo 1's gone into the wall at the final corner. That's massive front wing damage. That's his race over. Safety car has been deployed. And at this point, you box for a set of softs and you pray for Jesus. Oh, mama. Right. Ty has retired in the pit lane. He doesn't want any further part in this race. Echo 1 honestly probably could, at this point, retire in the pit lane, because that is a 19-second time penalty. Yeah, this is saving Welshie. Welshie would be gone at this point. But what this is also not helping is Monster Jammers, and it's not helping the other Haas, because there is no more lapped cars in that pack. They are all unlapped at this point. So they don't get that buffer zone like they did before. Now, notice who stays out here. Everyone. Right, I would have expected the mediums to pit. But no, the mediums are staying out. Let's see if anyone does box. It looks like a McLaren is choosing to box. That would be Mark Mage. He's probably going for fastest lap. He's on full lap hold softs, potentially front wing damage as well. We're going to have to double check as he comes into the pits. It does appear that there is also... Oh, bomb! Oh, what a save. 18 lap hold mediums. He will now box because he has that free pit stop. And also has to serve the 22nd. This is 21. He's only served 10 of them, I believe. But yes, you do read this right. AngryShadow is currently sat in P2 behind NSG Welshie. We will have a 2-lap shootout. No lapped cars will be required to be let through this time, though, because this is not Abu Dhabi. There are no lapped cars that will cause a problem, and if we're going to count it as anything, Echo 1 then becomes Latifi, and I don't want to really put that on him because that feels unfair, because he's better than that. And he also invited me to the lobby, so I have a lot of respect for him. So we're not going to call him Latifi. He's in a kick Sauber as well. So in reality, he's more like Joe or Bottas. All right? Or who is that? Who's the Italian Jesus? Antonio Giovinazzi. There you go. There you go. He's so much better than Latifi. Thank you, Bouncy. He doesn't deserve that. Did get put in the wall. So, I don't know. Either way. Oh boy, this restart. This is going to be everything. This entire restart will be the entire rest of the race. Because it will all come down to just how well Welshie is able to gap. No, it's going to be 2 laps. 1 lap of DRS, but 2 laps. Which means AngryShadow is going to get 2 opportunities to go for the move. As Echo 1 and Boom have now passed Mark Mage, who has boxed again for fresh mediums. It's absolutely fine. No, I don't think the safety car should stay out so it's one lap. I think that would be a bad idea. That would be the worst decision in racing history, Bouncy, in my personal opinion. I'm staring right at you, Bouncy. I'm staring right at you, Bouncy. Don't put that evil into the world. Safety car in this lap. Can the McLaren of Welshie pull off the most unpredictable win in the history of Tier 5? And that's saying something, because this is Tier 5, for God's sake. Like, I was here last season. Anyone can win one of these races. But in this sort of a race, with this sort of situation, I don't think anyone could have predicted that it wouldn't be AngryShadow winning this one. Especially since he's still in the race. Now, the crossover point between softs and mediums will be about a lap into the stint. So it will be on Welsh's restart to determine whether or not he will remain in P1 across the start-finish line next time around. He will go now at the start. And we will go racing one last time around Austria in Tier 5. The sun is setting, but is it setting on a perfect season for AngryShadow? Into turn 1, Welshie still leads, Shadow second, Jammers third. Behind them, Nathan in P4, Deathman P5 and 2 turns. It's up to P6 now. Amamo, then Benzo. Striker, Cobb K, Villeneuve just outside of the points but has 3 seconds of time penalties as into the breaking point they come, and no one has willed a move yet. Villeneuve contacts slightly there with the Williams of Cobb K, but no one has gone round, and it appears clean all the way round. Back to the front. This is the look from the rear. Let's get those penalties back up so you can see just the gaps currently. We'll actually swap this to leader, just so you can see how far people will fall. Cobb K's now past Striker. Villeneuve's now past Striker. Striker out of the points as it stands. And as it also stands, Monster Jammers will drop down to P7. Round the final corner, Jammers has gone off. And I wonder if that might be another warning. It might be worrying now for the Ferrari team, as its DRS has been enabled. One weave is allowed on the straight. And it's going to come down to this. Can AngryShadow get the job done on the run-up to turn 3? He's burning every pack of the DRS that he has. Up the inside. Oh, there's almost contact between the two. Shadow goes in. He spins it slightly. She's gone back up the inside. Wheel to wheel now. Well, she's got DRS. But Shadow's still with him. Wheel to wheel into turn 4. Can he get the job done? There's contact. They go wide. And well, Shadow goes off the track. Shadow gets a 3-second. Through goes Welshie. Into the lead. Can he hang on now? Just 4 corners to go. 3 down to 2. Shadow is all over the back of him. Goes up the inside, round the outside into turn, the side of 2 corners, there's contact! They crash! Well, she is out! AngryShadow will win on track, but he will have retired a McLaren, which means Deathman will win the Austrian Grand Prix. 2 turns will be second, Marmo third, Cobb K fourth, Benzo goes up to P5 in the end, AngryShadow and Jammers down to 6th and 7th, Nathan P8, Villeneuve into the points in P9, Striker P10, Normbash down to P11. Oh my god! What an ending! From 0 last week, from getting 3 license points, 10 seconds. Oh, it definitely is going to the stewards. From 10 seconds. That is ridiculous. There was so much drama. That is brilliant. That is, you someone asked for Lando and Max. You got it. Contact, rear to rear. 2 guys are dead. There was a McLaren that got Verstappen into the wall, and somehow Deathman has won. And the champagne will spray. It is a win for Deathman and Mercedes. P2 will go to... I don't even remember who got P2 in all of that. Oh my god. George Russell wins again. It's 2 terms in the Visa Cash App RB in P2. On Marmo started P14. He's finished his P3. Cobke stays exactly where he started with fastest lap in P4. Benzo 5th. Shadow 6th. Jammer 7th. Nathan 8th. Villeneuve P9. Striker will round out the points after starting in dead last. I don't know how Amama's got a podium off that. That is ridiculous. Midnight and Normbash off the points, 11th and 12th. NATO G 13th, Muckmage 14th, Snoop P15, Bomb P16, Echo 1 Medic P17. Welshie retired at the final corner in an incident that we will have to look at. Ty Suit and Cypher will round out our 20 drivers, and that may single-handedly be the greatest Grand Prix I have ever seen in MRL history. Oh my god! Chat, we need to talk. We need to talk long and hard. Oh my god. Oh. Right. I don't have an instant replay feature. If I did, I would use it immediately. Just so you're aware. There would be an instant replay. We'd be looking at that and we'd be picking it apart. I don't have that. I'm going to try and get them in here. Because somehow, some way... Who was P2 again? Who got P2? Chat. Terms got P2. Thank you. Oh my god. I gotta stop laughing. I really got. I gotta stop. I have to stop. We need to relax because Jesus Christ. Right. What we do have for you, ladies and gentlemen, is hopefully some interviews. Right now, I do have one person in the box, and it is in fact, would you believe, your race winner. Give me one moment, ladies and gentlemen, because we do have our race winner. Never mind, he just immediately quit the booth. I don't know how he's done that. We were trying to get him in. He may return at some point. Let's try that again. Can you please not crash this time? Hello, Deathman. Welcome to the interview booth. Congratulations on somehow winning.
Thank you. Yeah, that was something. There was a big crash right in the middle. That was freaky. That was freaky. I can't believe that happens.
Oh, well, what it is now you have officially won the race. Talk us through that race, because you were coming into it with a pretty poor weekend first time out. You were P3 on track. You got the motor to P6. You had all those penalties coming in. You were... Obviously, that was playing on your mind a little bit. How are you feeling now that you've come through that and you've gotten an even better result?
Going into the weekend, I was pretty upset. I had a rough quali. I think I started P12. I think that really gave me the motivation to keep moving. I want to thank Kayla as well. She pushed me through that, giving me the instructions on what to be doing.
She's
looking forward to.
She has typed that you screamed very loudly when that happened. But honestly, your performance today shocked me with just how consistent you were. You were genuinely up there in that fight at all times. It didn't feel like at any point you didn't belong at the front of the field, and you kept it remotely clean from what I could see. So a genuinely great drive from you, and a little bit of fortune, obviously, towards the end of the race, but you have to be in the fight to have a chance of winning the fight, and you were there in P4. You come through to P1. An amazing performance, and congratulations on a no DNF as well. So we don't get to add to that list. You're still at 4.
Absolutely.
You gotta change that to race wins 1 now.
No more.
Like
race winner.
Yeah,
2.
You are a race winner. In MRL, I don't know what's going to happen in the stewards this week. It's going to be crazy.
No,
But
insanity. There was a lot of things that happened on track that I'm
yeah,
sure we had 2 submissions, maybe 3 last week.
it's going to
I'm
be 20.
guessing more than 8.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. But that's tier 5 for you. It is chaotic, but sometimes not in the ways that everyone likes. For this, it's beautiful. It's streaming heaven. But thank you very much for coming in. I wish you the best of luck next week. It's my home Grand Prix. I hope you do good in it. It is Silverstone, and I hope to see you once again in the interview booth.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Dan.
Right, and from P1 we go to P2. As everyone screams in the chat, we do need to talk about P2 in that race, because P2 belongs to a very unique driver, and I don't even know how to explain what just happened, but we do have him in the booth now with us. It is in fact Omamo, who has finished in P2. Omamo, congratulations on what was a very, very chaotic end of the race, but getting through that with no penalties to get a P2 has got a P3. Sorry for you. Sorry, it wasn't.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I was about to say, correct you.
That's fine. I got myself. Don't worry. I remember 2 times got P2. A ridiculous result considering all of the chaos that was involving. You kept your nose clean. You didn't get involved, and you come through looking one of the best drivers on the track. How's that happen?
Yeah, it's crazy. I spun twice, I think, in the rain too.
So
I was in
yeah.
P18 for about quarter way through. So definitely a lot of chaos. Capitalized off it, but yeah, that was a crazy race.
Qualified P14. Not the best of qualifying sessions, but you're sort of living proof of staying in the fight until it's over, because you had great pace in the dry. You were very quietly working your way through the field, and then being in that final fight. What was going through your mind on that final lap? Was seeing that battle take place in front of you, because you were right behind it. What was going through your mind when they went side by side for most of the lap?
Oh man, I was just trying to avoid them, especially because 2 laps before there was that big pileup. Somehow avoided damage there. I think that definitely was the big thing. But yeah, just kept it in. I didn't know who had penalties in front of me too, so just try to stay as close as possible.
It turned out the entire top 3 had penalties in the end, so P5 is good enough for P2, or P6 for P3. But a very solid race from you. Are you looking forward to Silverstone next week? Are you going to find a bit more pace there, or is this going to be another one where you're sort of hoping for a last lap incident?
Yeah, I mean, Silverstone, I'm a lot better. Austria is one of my worst tracks, so hopefully I can only go up.
Well, we've got you. I've got you penned in for a top 5 there, so let's see if you can pull that one off. That's a challenge for you. But thank you for popping in the booth. It was honestly one of the. I'm seeing everyone talk about the crash still. It's ridiculous.
I'm just gonna stay in the room. I'll come back later.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. We wish you the best of luck, and we'll hopefully see you in the call next week. And good luck around Silverstone, because it is a tough track, and getting a performance out of there is quite difficult.
Thank you, man. Looking forward to next week. I'll see you then.
See you. And unfortunately, that's all we've got. 2 Terms has not turned up to the booth. I'm not sure if they even know where the booth is. But what we do have is some good news for the people that are still in chat. For the people who are still here, that's right. We do have a Haas scoring points, and it had to be the TP who got there in the end. It will be points for Nathan. Oh, never mind. We do have P2. Hello. Let's get him in the booth. 2 Terms. You joined at the right time, because it is time for a quick interview, as I'm looking at the wrong chat. There we go. Congratulations on P2. Hello?
Dan.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
That's good to hear. Congratulations on your P2 in the Grand Prix. A ridiculous feat considering what was happening on that final lap, but you did survive in the end to take home that P2. Talk us through your feelings being in that position and being able to call yourself a podium finisher this weekend.
Dude, honestly, I had no idea what was going on. I don't even see what happened to the leaders, but I was just trying. I saw that, I think it was Echo at a 3-second or something. So I was like, all right, I can steal a P3 here, maybe something like that. And then, you know, just got lucky, I guess. We'll take it though.
Yeah, you drove a very solid race. I think we had you on stream for a bit of it. You were a very, very good driver throughout, and definitely worth watching back if you do get the chance to, because there was a lot of interesting overtakes and battles happening throughout that race, especially towards that last lap. You said you didn't catch it. To give you a rundown, there was massive contact and the most realistic crash you've ever seen in F1. It was absolutely ridiculous, but definitely worth a watch. And congratulations again on the podium. Do you see yourself getting another podium at Silverstone, or is that going to be a step too far this time?
We'll see. I feel like I'm still figuring out the pace on this game, but you know, we're gonna keep pushing, doing our best, and you know, I'm just glad that was a fun drive.
It looked
fun day
fun.
today.
It looked very fun. The wets to dries was a chaotic one, to say the least, but a good call from you on that, and a good timing as well to be in the right place at the right time. Congratulations again. Hopefully we'll see you in the booth again come Silverstone.
All right, thanks, Dan. Have a good one.
No worries. You too, mate. Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still here, please do pop off the stream now. We have another race live right this second. Tier 4 is live. You've got Skill Issue and TTRE Dreams over there. They're just like, you just click that button and you go find the, actually it's down here. If you click the channel button and you go to live and you find Tier 4, go check them out, because that's guaranteed to be just as chaotic as this one. It's going to be chaotic all day. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next week for more action in this league and more action in Tier 5. Chaos reigns once again, but this time it is somehow a Mercedes on the top step. Thank you and goodbye.